Lisa here from the Cherry on Top and Creative Design Studio, back with yet another hopefully interesting video for you on getting scrapbooking designs together. I started off and there's people drilling in the street. Someone is edging their lawn. The church bells were going off. I was like, okay, hopefully these people will take a lunch break soon. I wanted to talk about a basic, very basic scrapbooking kit, what you might find in it. I'm going to get lots of birds with one stone here today. I'm also going to be showing you how you can use some things from Plus and how to keep a design kind of cohesive and in the same style. And we'll show a little bit about papers. It'll be a little bit about everything, but I will try my best to keep it short. So here is a preview that I use, showing off the papers, showing off elements. There's a card in this kit, as well as a little template that people can scrap with. And here I even give a little page example. So it's a really nice, well-rounded image to provide to potential customers. There's a close-up of what's in it. That's also kind of nice. They get a nice big view of the elements that are inside. Now let's look at some of those elements, because that's basically what this video is about. Elements for a scrapbooking kit, or embellishments as traditional scrappers call them, or Ellie's for cute and sweet. Here's one that I took from Plus, and I just put some glitters, a glitter paper that I put in there, and then the black that I put in there. Here I wanted to show you how you can turn these kind of lovely silhouette shapes into shapes, and specifically here, a flower can look like this. I just use a paper. Always use a paper or a texture with your elements. Don't just color bucket them. It'll look really plain and flat, and yeah, just not as nice. Here is another example from that sheet that I showed you from Plus, and here's what you can do with it. And here's another example. See the opposite? We'll go over that again here and here. That's kind of cool. That's a really neat thing to offer. Here's a basic silhouette. And here's a basic silhouette. Thank you if you're watching, whoever designed this. Is way cool. This is a really fun thing to add to a flower like this. See what I mean? Especially if I were to go a little more dimensional, I could really turn that into something pretty fabulous. Here's another shape, and then here's what you can do with it to add to your collection. Here's another shape, and here's how you can change it up. If you think I'm really not doing enough to transform these shapes, let me know. I'm very curious. With my designing things that I give, I just let people have at it. There you go. Have at it. Do what you got to do. Just, yeah, don't sell it exactly how it is. But if you think it needs to be more, tell me in the comments nicely. Thanks. Here's some more. See, I added this little diploma to it, and I added texture, and I added an outline. And if you were to copy over that and try to steal the silhouette, it would really look terrible. Here's another example of how I changed it up. I added this extra gray color underneath. I added a whole nother layer. I really turned this into another template. And then, of course, I added a bevel and some paper and some texture to it. And here are some basic elements. Look at how simple this is. Really, seriously, people. You can design some very basic elements like these. Here I added just a little bit of word art to a basic design. That's kind of fun and pretty simple. People love that in there. This is a design from a girlfriend of mine, and she's like me. When it comes to these kind of basic shapes, she doesn't care how I use it as long as it's not exactly as I bought it. Here's another example. This was also from Plus. I just added another one and some texture and glitter, and that's how I changed it up. Here's a frame. I just made this very basically from the graphics. See, when you click on your graphics, I think you have this in PS as well. You just slide one over and then take your papers and build it up like that. A little bit of shadow, lots of texture. Super simple. Word art is so easy, yo. Check that out. I'll show you specifically how to make these then, because it's insanely easy. And they're really fun to have. This is a word bit, another word bit. They're really uber fun to have in a scrapbooking kit. Here's a card. And I'll show you how someone used it as an element, but a potential client, if they really do want this for a graduation, they can print this out and they can have a card as well. So that's a neat little thing. They can use it as an element. They can use it as a card. I love flexibility. As a customer, I love flexibility in a kit or collection. Here's what the template looks like. Hello, how basic can you get? A little bit of word art here, some squares, and slapping an element there. It's so easy. Show a pretty good preview of your papers so they can get a nice idea of what the papers look like. I'm going to run them through real fast. Seriously, in a couple hours you can have something like this design, but note the texture. Note that the design comes all the way to the edge. I'm definitely going to do another video on quality control. It is hugely important. If someone buys something from you and they have to get rid of jaggies and stray pixels, they're not going to buy from you again. So it's really essential that when you design something, you design it as well as you can. There's lots of resources out there to teach you how to do that. These are just the papers that are provided. I don't know if you noticed, I only have a couple that are specifically geared towards graduation. This one is specifically, this one is specifically, and this one. That's it. 3 papers. All the rest are basic papers that can be used in any type of craft project, and that is super, super cool to do in your kits and collections. All right, those were the basic papers. Solids, always, always and forever provide solids in your paper packs and in your kits for scrapbookers. We need our solids, baby. Here's an example that has nothing to do with graduation. Show that off here. Nothing to do with graduation. Show it off in your previews. Like I said, people need stuff pointed out to them because they can't always see it like you might see it. Here I show them in this preview, this is how you do it. Ching, ching, ching. And it's example using the theme. But then I go further and I show off examples without using the theme. All right, and I have another preview where I use this image as well. And then they could see, wow, all right, look, all these papers, all these things. I thought that was interesting too. I actually used one of the elements and turned it into what could be potentially a paper as well. So think of all the different ways that you can use your collections and your kits that you make. Carrie from our group asked a super awesome question about sizes. And I would recommend that you slide each of your elements as you're designing them onto a 12 by 12 document and see what it looks like proportionally. Let me try to show you an example here. Here is just a blank document at 12 by 12, and I'm going to slide that on there. That's a pretty good size. I'm going to slide my balloon on there, and that's a pretty good size. I'm going to slide that on there. That's pretty good. That's actually a little on the large side, really. I might want to shrink it up a little bit. This might have even been a little bit more ideal. But what you don't want to do for scrapbookers is give them something like that. Don't give them something that small. Think about how it will look in juxtaposition to other items in your collection and in your kit. Here, these guys are about the same size, and that's okay. And keep your flowers at different sizes if you want to. It's always, always better to go bigger than smaller because oftentimes an image will lose its clarity as you change its sizes. All right, I think I am going to end it there to try to keep this short, and then I'll present you with another video in more detail and with more tips and tricks and how to design more products for in a scrapbooking kit.